Mark my words. You shall pay dearly for what you have done! In the vast continent of Olympias, the noble dragon clan stood at the pinnacle of power. Able to manifest scales, claws, and wings, they ruled through both bloodline and might. I grew up far from the kingdom. My mother feared I might wed a foreign dragon lord, so she arranged an engagement for me with a talented, handsome dragon noble in the capital of Olympia. She insisted that I return home to proceed with the betrothal. Upon my return, I went to the Olympus Divine Forge to select an engagement crown. I chose a magnificent off-white platinum crown adorned with starlight gems and decided to try it on. Suddenly, a woman nearby glanced at the crown in my hand and said to the attendant, "What a unique design. Let me try it." The attendant immediately snatched it from my hands. I protested indignantly. "Excuse me, I was here first. Have you no regard for the rule of first come, first served? Or has common decency forsaken you?" The woman scoffed and retorted, "This crown costs 188,000 gold dragons. Do you truly believe a penniless nobody like you could afford such a treasure? I am Lucas Stormgrave's sister in all but blood. He is the heir of Archer Stormgrave. In Olympia, the Stormgrave family dictates the rules." What a coincidence. Lucas Stormgrave was my betrothed. I immediately activated my Hermes Resonance crystal and said, "Your so-called sister in all but blood has just stolen my engagement crown. Deal with her at once." The term sister in all but blood carried less than innocent applications. If Lucas Stormgrave failed to give me a proper explanation that day, I would cancel the engagement banquet entirely. To my surprise, Lucas responded with icy indifference.
"Who are you? Since when does a stranger have the right to question my relationship with Vivian?"
I was about to reveal that I was his betrothed, but he cut off the communication abruptly. Fury surged within me. How dare he not even recognize my seal? Meanwhile, Vivian Morrow stood beside me with a triumphant grin. "You wretched wench! Did you truly think possessing Lucas' token made you special? Keep dreaming. Even the stable hands at the Stormclake estate dress better than you." I had always preferred simple, comfortable garments and cared little for lavish tailoring or noble insignias. Never did I imagine such choices would invite disdain from others. "Pray tell, in which era do you dwell that you still measure a person's worth by superficial guise alone? Lucas must have lost his wits to call you his sister in all but blood." My mood for shopping was utterly ruined. I seized the crown and strode toward the counter. The attendant hesitated and said, "Check, please, thank you." "My lady, forgive me, but we must serve our honored patrons first." Vivian smirked and slammed her gleaming gold guild token onto the counter. "Only those who have contributed over 1,000,000 gold dractons receive this token. What is a destitute wench like you even doing here?" I was not one to seek conflict, yet on this day Vivian had gone too far. I withdrew a black of Styrian noble seal and handed it to the attendant. Suppressing my anger, I declared, "Register me as a patron. Then wrap the crown for me." The Stormscane family rules these lands. If you sell her that crown today, I shall have Luke seize this entire forge by tomorrow. "My lady, I am but a humble servant. I dare not offend the Stormsgate Archdynasty."
"That is Lady Morrow. Lord Stormgate doles on her endlessly. You would do well to yield."
The last soul who crossed her had their entire house stripped of title and lands.
"You may possess some wealth, yet it is mere dust compared to the might of the Stormslayer Archery. Kneel and beg Lady Morrow for mercy while you still can."
"You wench, get on your knees and proclaim, 'I am a worthless pretender, and I beg your forgiveness.' Perhaps then I shall come to sparing you." In my 26 years of life, I had never encountered such brazen arrogance. Pardon? What did you just command me to say?
Are your ears clogged? Say it! I am a worthless pretender, and I beg your forgiveness. Must I spell it out for you?
I smirked coldly. I heard you clearly. Since you already know yourself to be a worthless pretender, remove yourself from my sight. Do not waste my time. When she realized she was being mocked, she let out a furious cry and charged at me. Her attack was laughable. I was a master of the ancient Taiyan's claw martial arts. My nails elongated into sharp obsidian claws, and draconic power surged through my veins. With a single fluid kick infused with draconic strength, I sent her crashing heavily onto the stone floor. She howled in agony. The onlookers stared in horror.
By the gods!
She dared strike Lady Morrow!
Lord Stormraid will surely tear her apart when he hears of this.
None shall save her now, not even the gods of Olympus themselves.
I remained unmoved by their fearful whispers. The Stormslibble family owed their current power and status entirely to my mother's support. No soul in this kingdom could intimidate me. I slammed my obsidian seal onto the counter once more and commanded, "Complete the transaction." "I'm sorry, miss. I serve you right away." The trembling woman fumbled through the payment and carefully placed the crown into an ornate velvet box. I turned to leave the box in hand. Vivian scrambled to her feet and blocked my path once again.
You are not going anywhere!
I raised my fist before her face. "What is the matter? Do you wish for another taste of my fist?" Vivian flinched. I scoffed and strode past her. At that moment, a grand black divine pattern chariot pulled by nightmare stallions arrived before the forge. A tall man stepped out. My heart skipped a beat.
Luke, this wench stole my crown and struck me!
So this was my betrothed. I had always been drawn to handsome, commanding men, and Lucas's appearance perfectly matched my taste. For his looks alone, I was willing to overlook his earlier rudeness. I offered him my sweetest smile. "Greetings. I am Lily Winsing, your betrothed." No wonder my mother claimed I would be pleased with her choice. She truly understood my heart. The crowd gasped in astonishment.
What? She is Lord Stormraid's betrothed?
How could that be? I didn't see any sign of it at all.
Lucas regarded me with cold eyes.
Do not presume too much. My father arranged this engagement without my consent. I never agreed to it.
What do you mean?
Don't you get it? I've never been interested in you.
Vivian wrapped her arm upon his and leaned intimately against him, shooting me a provocative glare. "Look at yourself. Lux would never marry an ugly creature such as you." The bystanders chimed in mockingly.
Indeed! Lord Stormraid's bride must be a noble dragoness of equal standing, not some country bumper.
With her plain features, she would not even be fit to scrub the floors of Stormraid Castle.
Lucas Stormgage, return to your father and tell him the engagement is cancelled. You are unworthy of me. According to my mother, his father had gone to great lengths to secure this alliance with our house. If he learnt his son had ruined it, he would surely flay Lucas alive. I turned to leave, having no desire to waste further time on these fools. Yet Vivian, emboldened by Lucas's presence, blocked my path once more.
Do not think of fleeing, you wench! We are far from finished. You stole my crown and struck me.
What exactly do you want?
I shall slap you until my rage is sated!
Mistaking my composure for fear, she raised her hand to slap me. I caught her wrist and delivered a sharp slap across her face. She stared at me in disbelief. Have you had enough? The two slaps stripped the arrogance from Vivian's face. She burst into tears and hid behind Lucas.
Luke, do something!
Lucas shielded her and snored.
Touch my woman again, and I shall end your life!
His eyes splashed with golden draganic light as crimson scales emerged along his neck and jawline, his voice deepening with a dragon growl. He ordered his sacred warriors to seize me. I swiftly felled the first warrior. But the second overpowered and pinned me down. After enduring a rain of blows, I collapsed. They dragged me to my knees before Vivian and Lucas.
Vivi, do as you please with her. I stand behind you.
Emboldened, Vivian slapped me twice and spit upon my face.
You wench! Where has all your defiance gone? Show me how fierce you are now!
She kicked me viciously in the stomach. Clutching my abdomen in pain, I glared up at them both, my eyes glowing with faint silver dragon of fury.
You will regret this. Mark my words. You shall pay dearly for what you have done!
Vivian let out a haughty laugh.
The Stormscane family is one of the 3 most powerful dragon clans ruling this kingdom. What can a penniless redger like you possibly do against me? Today, I shall teach you the fate that awaits those who dare cross me!
She drew a sharp jeweled dagger from her belt and slashed it across my face. Searing pain erupted across my cheek as the flesh swelled and warm blood trickled down. Someone sighed in pity.
I warned her not to defy the Stormling house. It seems she had to learn her lesson through suffering.
What a tragedy. Her fair face is ruined now. Common folk like us cannot afford such troubles. We would do well to swallow our pride when we step into the world. Vivian raised the dagger once more, aiming for another slash. Terror of disfigurement overwhelmed me. I quickly begged for mercy.
Very well. I am sorry. Take the crown. I should not have contested you for it.
Vengeance could wait. At that moment, preserving my face was of utmost importance. Yet Vivian still dragged the blade across my cheek once more.
Oh, now you are sorry. It is far too late, wench. I shall not release you until I have vented every drop of my fury.
I screamed in pain and turned desperately to Lucas.
Lucas, you know my background. Are you not afraid of the consequences? If you allow her to humiliate me like this, you will regret it bitterly!
Lucas sneered.
What standing could you possibly hold? Your mother bewitched my father into forcing this engagement upon me.
A vicious glint flashed in Vivian's eyes.
Your mother is a witch, and I wage you are one too. Disrobe at once and let me see clearly. No!
Just then, my Hermes resonance crystal chimed from within my pouch.
I struggled to reach it, but Vivian snatched it first. She activated the crystal, and my mother's voice rang out clearly.
Lilibet, how fears the selection of your engagement crown?
I cried out desperately.
Mother, save me! Someone is assaulting me! She seeks to strip me bare!
My mother's voice turned sharp with panic.
What? Who dares lay hands upon you?
It is I. Your wretched witch of a daughter craved attention, so I am putting her in her rightful place. Vivian cut in arrogantly. My mother snapped back.
I care not who you are. Release my daughter this instant, or you shall pay dearly when I arrive.
Try me. I shall await you right here, you old witch!
With that, Vivian howled the resonates crystal to the stone floor, shattering it into pieces.
Apple does not fall far from the tree, does it? When your mother arrives, I shall strip her bare as well.
Time seemed to stretch endlessly. It felt like half a century, yet only 5 minutes had truly passed. Finally, a grand royal chariot bearing a familiar piece arrived. My mother stepped out with regal authority and demanded,
Let me see who dares threaten to strip me bare.
The moment I saw my mother, a flood of pent-up grievances surged through me.
Mother! I cried, my voice breaking with emotion.
My mother's heart shattered at the sight of my injuries. She rushed forward and pulled me into her protective embrace. For the first time since the ordeal began, I felt truly safe. The onlookers gasped in astonishment at the sight of her chariot.
Look, that is a royal crest chariot.
Only the most powerful and exalted may possess such a vessel. It seems Lady Morrow has provoked the wrong person this time.
The wrong person? Even with connections, no one outranks the Stormglacier Archer dynasty in this kingdom.
Vivian thought the same. She charged toward my mother with fury.
So you are the witch who raised this brat? She stole my crown and struck me. Tell me, how do you intend to make amends?
My mother lifted her gaze coldly.
How do I intend to make this right?
Oblivious to my mother's murderous glare, Vivian continued her demands without restraint.
That crown was mine until your filthy daughter touched it. Now it is ruined. You shall compensate me tenfold. As for the slaps she gave me, she shall kneel here and strike herself 20 times before everyone present.
Most importantly, cancel her engagement with Luke's.
Obey my every command, and I may yet allow you to leave this hall alive. Refuse, and neither of you shall depart in one piece.
My mother laughed in disbelief at the outrageous demands. She patted my shoulder reassuringly before stepping toward Vivian.
The engagement between Lilibar and the Stormlek family shall certainly be cancelled. Lucas could never be worthy of joining our dragon bloodline. As for the rest of your demands,
My mother raised her hand and delivered a resounding slap across Vivian's face.
Do not even dream of it! You are the ones who shall not be leaving today! Vivian stood stunned for a moment before attempting to strike back. My mother's sacred warrior swiftly kicked her to her knees and pinched her arms behind her back.
after struggling in vain, Vivian looked up pleadingly at Lucas.
Luke! It hurts! Help me!
Lucas ordered his warriors to intervene, but they were quickly overpowered and slammed onto the stone floor.
The most satisfying moment followed. Lucas himself was forced down to his knees before me. Lily, my mother showed no mercy and slapped him across the face.
I have never raised a hand against Lilith since the day she was born. Yet you dared humiliate her so cruelly. You shall repay this 1,000-fold.
Lily, Lucas glared at her with defiance.
You old crane! How dare you strike me! I am the heir of the Stormlek Arpendon! You have no idea what consequences await you!
How dare you harm my daughter? If your father stood before me, I would just as I have struck you.
The onlookers grew even more shocked.
Who does this woman think she is? Old Arkan Windsong once ruled the shadows in his youth. Even now, all in Olympia pay him respect.
She has struck the golden heir of the Stormblack House. There is no escape for her now.
My mother ignored their whispers. She gently touched my swollen, bleeding cheek.
Oh, Lilibar, you have suffered enough. But I am here now. Do not be afraid. Do you desire retribution? Speak the word.
I was never one to turn the other cheek, and after what Vivian had done, I certainly would not start now. First, I struck Vivian repeatedly across the face to vent my rage. Then, I picked up the dagger she had used on me and slowly brought it closer to her face. She trembled violently.
Do not you dare touch my face! I shall fight you to the death!
Without hesitation, I made the first cut. She let out a blood-cooling scream as a deep gash opened across her cheek. I slashed the blade across her face repeatedly. Soon, her face was swollen beyond recognition, bruised and bloody. She could do nothing but wail helplessly while pinned down by the sacred warriors.
Ah! My face! My face ace is ruined!
It was true. One never truly understood pain until it became their own. When she tried to disfigure me, she should have expected retribution.
You mad woman! When my father learns what you have done to Vi, he will make you pay dearly!
Lucas gnawed at me from nearby. My mother replied coldly.
Good. Let Bernard come. We shall see whom he punishes. You or us. She took out her resonance crystal and contacted Aaron Bernard Stormglaive. He answered at once.
Dana, what is the matter?
My mother spoke with icy calm.
Bernard, you have certainly raised quite the exceptional son.
Recognizing her anger, Bernard laughed nervously.
Dana, what has my worthless son done this time? Speak the word and I shall punish him severely.
My mother's voice trembled with suppressed rage as she recounted the humiliation. Lily Vio, Bernard was stunned into silence for a moment before roaring.
What? That brat dared harm Lady Winsome! Flay him alive if you wish! Do whatever you desire with him!
Lucas, still kneeling, shouted in the rhythm to disbelief.
Father! Has this witch bewitched you? These two witches are evil! They ruined Vivi's face and forced me to kneel! Instead of saving me, you side with them! I am your son!
You are a disgrace to our bloodline! After the calamity you have caused, I wish I had never soured you!
My mother deliberately ended the communication. She looked down at Lucas with contempt. Do you still believe your father will save you?
You black widow! Do not grow arrogant! He is merely venting his temper. I am his flesh and blood. When he arrives, you are finished!
Ever since I could remember, any mention of my father was my mother's deepest wound. Lucas had truly courted death.
As expected, my mother's expression turned murderous. I swiftly kicked him in the back, sending him sprawling face onto the cold stone floor.
Mother, do not waste your anger on this worthless fool. Allow me to deal with him. I know precisely how to handle such vermin. With that, I ordered the sacred warriors to take both of them away. I slicked up to my mother and whined softly. Mother, my face truly hurts. Will you accompany me to have it tended first?
My coaxing tone finally brought my mother back to her senses. She gently touched my injured cheek and personally escorted me to the temple of Asclepius. Olympia's finest herbal centurions gathered to examine my wounds. After cleansing my face, they carefully discussed treatment plans to ensure no scars would remain. Once the plan was decided, the healers withdrew one by one. Only my mother and I remained in the chamber. I leaned my head against her shoulder and murmured reassuringly,
Mother, do not take Lucas's words to heart. Lily, your father truly died because of me. Do you resent me for causing you to grow up without a father?
Her voice was thick with guilt and regret.
I shook my head
and held her tighter. I knew better than anyone how much she had suffered all these years. My father had once been a lord of the underworld, with countless warriors beneath him. Bernard was merely one of his former subordinates. Everything changed the day he met my mother. They fell in love at first sight. The violent, womanizing warrior who lived for battle and pleasure finally settled down. From that moment, his heart belonged only to her. Yet this love became his fatal weakness. His enemies repeatedly targeted my mother. In the end, he sacrificed his life to protect her. I was less than a year old at the time.
She would have followed him into death had you not existed.
For my sake, she endured her grief and lived on. She dissolved my father's shadowy organization and selected the most capable men, granting them land and gold to serve the family honorably. My mother understood the danger of drawing too much attention. To shield me from becoming a target, she remained hidden from the public eye and never appeared in court. It was no exaggeration to say she had built 3 of Olympia's greatest martial powers in secret. Only a handful knew the truth. That was why fools like Lucas dared to speak such nonsense. After a week of devoted healing, my facial wounds had completely vanished. My skin was even smoother and more radiant than before. One day, the steward delivered another lavish gift from Bernard, a cask of 1335 Olympus Dragonfire wine, one of the last remaining in the realm. It was clear he had spared no expense to save his son, After keeping Lucas and Vivian confined for 7 days, it was time to see them. I instructed the steward to summon Bernard, who waited anxiously outside, then ordered the sacred warriors to bring the prisoners up from the dungeon. Those 7 short days had transformed them beyond recognition. Their hair was matted and filthy. Their bodies stank of filth and decay. Vivian's facial wounds had been left untreated. They had festered and swollen horribly. Her entire face was now a blunted, ruined wreck. The moment Lucas saw Bernard, tears of relief poured down his face. He scrambled forward on his hands and knees.
Father, you have finally come. You cannot imagine what I have endured these past days. It was her! She locked me in the water cell. She deprived me of sleep, starved me, and forced me to eat rot in slop!
Yet you licked the bowl clean every time, did you not, Lord Stormgate? The instinct for survival was truly remarkable. I had ordered the sacred soldiers to give them only 1 bowl of cold, rancid porridge each day. At first, Lucas proudly declared he would rather starve than touch such filth. He was the heir of the Stormgrey family, after all.
But after 3 days without food, pride meant nothing. They fought over the foul porridge and licked their bowls spotless.
You vicious witch! Now that my father is here, your little game is...
Sometimes I marveled at the cruel balance of life. When it granted you beauty, it always took away something else. Clearly Lucas had traded his wits for his looks.
Before he could finish his threat, Bernard struck him hard across the head.
You disgrace! Do you wish to give me a heart attack? Kneel and apologize to Lady Winsray at once.
Lucas turned to his father, his face twisted with betrayal.
Why should I apologize? She tormented me for days. Why are you taking her side instead of mine?
Bernard looked at his foolish son in utter despair. He was truly at his wits' end. Since my mother had given strict orders, Bernard dared not reveal my true identity. He could only kick Lucas behind the knees, forcing him to kneel before me. Bernard spoke with careful deference.
Lady Winstone, I know this worthless son of mine has gravely offended you. Nothing he does can ever atone for it, but he is my only heir. I beg you, spare his life.
Witnessing his father's humiliating submission, Lucas finally realized I was no ordinary noble lady.
Father, who is she? We are the Stormgate family, one of the 3 great dragon clans ruling this kingdom. Who in this realm could we possibly not afford to offend?
Bernard glared at him with pure disgust.
You stupid boy! How many times have I told you there is always someone above us? I warned you to behave, but you never listened!
Let me make this clear. Lady Winstone is precisely someone we cannot afford to offend. Whether you leave here alive depends entirely on her mercy.
Finally understanding the gravity of his condition, Lucas's face shifted from resentment to pure terror. He stammered.
Lady Winstone, I have been a blind fool. Please, forgive me.
I sat upon my high chair, slowly sipping the mulled wine, before I finally spoke. Bernard, you are mistaken. It was not Lucas who offended me most. It was his so-called sister in all but blood. Lucas merely stood up for her. Bernard immediately slapped Lucas across the head again.
You utter disgrace! Instead of learning proper conduct, you entangled yourself with some low-born woman. Get her out of my sight!
Seeing this, Vivian immediately realized Lucas could barely save himself, let alone her.
Just remembering her time in the water cell made her legs give way. She collapsed to her knees with a heavy thud and began begging frantically.
Lady Windsong! I am sorry! I am the worthless pretender! Please forgive me! Spare my wretched life! I beg you! I shall never dare offend you again!
Her desperate pleas echoed through the hall as she now towed repeatedly. Lucas finally lowered his once proud head.
Lady Winshow, I was blind and foolish. I shall never bully others or abuse my privilege again. Please grant me one more chance.
After finishing my wine, I set the goblet aside and said calmly, "You all speak as if I am some bloodthirsty monster. This is a kingdom governed by law and honor. Do I truly look like a tyrant to you?" Bernard asked cautiously.
Lady Windsmane, does this mean you are willing to forgive this fool?
Of course. They harmed me, and I harmed them in return. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Let this matter end here.
Lucas and Vivian immediately poured out frantic thanks. I cleaned my throat and continued. "Not only do I forgive you, but I also wish to grant you a blessing. The three of them looked utterly confused.
After some investigation, I discovered that Vivian and Lucas have been secretly courting for some time. They used the pretense of being adoptive siblings because you would never approve, Bernard. Therefore, congratulations, dear loveboards. You shall proceed directly to Hera's sacred chapel. You have exactly 7 days to be wed in Olympia. My words produced vastly different reactions.
Vivian had never expected this disaster to become her golden opportunity. Her long-cherished dream of marrying into a powerful dragon clan had finally come true. A thrill of victory surged in her chest, and she could not help but smile. Yet that smile looked grotesque and unsettling on her nearly disfigured face. The one most displeased was naturally Bernard. He had always despised Vivian's low birth and character. This scandal had only deepened his hatred. I observed the three of them, each lost in their own thoughts, and asked calmly,
Well, can this be done?
When they gave their reluctant agreement, I waved them away with a smile.
There is a chariot waiting outside to take you lovebirds to Hera's sacred chapel.
They scrambled to their feet and rushed out as if fearing I might change my mind. The filthy, foul-smelling pair was delivered straight to the chapel steps. A clerk approached, barely hiding her disgust at their stench.
My lord, my lady, how may I assist you?
Lucas glanced at Vivian's swollen, ruined face and could not hide his revulsion. Still giddy at having secured a storm-lecked husband, Vivian blustered out,
We are here to be wed!
Even after years of service, this was the most bizarre couple the clerk had ever seen. The groom looked openly disgusted, and both appeared as if they had just crawled out of a sewer. Nevertheless, the clerk dutifully recorded their vows. When my driver reported that they had exchanged their marriage oaths, I felt the wicked satisfaction of a successful scheme. This particular trick, however, would haunt them for the rest of their lives.
A week later, their wedding became the scandal of the entire kingdom. The heir's hasty marriage to a disfigured woman became the subject of mockery across noble circles. The scandal caused many allies to distance themselves, and the family's influence and wealth suffered greatly.
Bernard blamed Vivian for everything. From the day she married into the family, he never showed her a single ounce of kindness. After the wedding, Lucas became a notorious philanderer who refused to return home and face his wife's ruined face. At first, Vivian had been overjoyed at marrying into nobility, but she soon discovered that even the servant did not treat her as a true lady of the house. Her monthly allowance was meager, far from the luxurious life she had imagined.
Get away from me!
You liar!
She and Lucas fought bitterly over his constant infidelities. In one particularly vicious quarrel, she finally snapped. She stabbed Lucas to death, then took her own life. I was traveling abroad with my mother when we received the news. Sunlight filtered gently through the leaves. A new day began in tranquil silence.